here because we want to make a change and make a difference. If you're not willing to make a change, then you need to leave just as well.
Protesters stood outside a barbershop in Champaign tonight in opposition to their membership-only policy that some claim is discriminatory. Good evening, I'm Jessica Coons. Rogue Barber Company's application requires clients not to be members of Black Lives Matter or white supremacist groups. The owner says he's doing it to protect his business against violence, but the people who came to this protest believe his stance is racist. WCIA3's Jennifer Jensen has more.
Rogue Barber Company closed early Friday afternoon before protesters lined up on the street outside of it.
Be respectful of everyone that's around you that's bettering your business. If we're a community and we're here for you, then be here for us as well.
The controversy started online, centering on the company's membership-only policy. While the owner would not provide a copy of the application, he says there's a clause in it that, in his words, requires people not to be a member of any extremist groups, including but not limited to Black Lives Matter, white supremacist groups, or Antifa. The protesters who support Black Lives Matter believe this is racist.
In your application process, you're stating organizations as extremists and terrorists and murderers and rapists. That's not appropriate. And your vetting process is already based upon a hierarchy of being discriminatory already.
He is devaluating the Black Lives Matter movement.
The owner, Michael Long, would not go on camera, but says he's read about people claiming to be members of Black Lives Matter and white supremacist groups involved in recent crime, murder, and also violence against police officers. He says he doesn't want to put his customers or employees in jeopardy of harm. He recognized that not all Black Lives Matter supporters are violent. He says he accepts customers of all races, but is denying service to anybody who is a member of Black Lives Matter or white supremacist groups as a precaution for his safety. He doesn't believe it's any more discriminatory than people protesting against collective police forces because one officer committed a violent crime. But the protesters strongly disagree with that stance.
So let's not do that. If we're going to actually state the facts, let's state the facts here. If there are people that are doing things that are wrong in these initiatives, they are removed. We are not Black Lives Matter as far as the organization, but we stand for Black lives because we are Black people that are out here making a difference for change.
Reporting, I'm Jennifer Jensen, WCIA3, your local news leader.
The protesters wanted to make it clear that they stand for peace and equality of all races. They say anybody who starts violence is not part of the true Black Lives Matter movement.